In today's video, I want to show you one of my favorite musical practices to actually enhance your melodic language and gain melodic fluency over any song that you're currently working on. And this is based on creating and writing one phrase and put it over an entire chord progression. I love doing this, and this comes from my composer mindset of like sitting down and actually taking the time to craft a beautiful phrase over just the first chord of the tune and make sure that the rhythm is amazing, that the shape is great, and that the phrase moves nicely and sounds good to you personally. Then once you have that, you pretty much transpose it and write it over the entire song, and then you can leave some space, and later on you can actually convert that into a solo because you can of course change the notes. But I want to show you how you can do this and actually extract a beautiful melodic sound out of the entire chord progression and the entire tune based on the same phrase that you're gonna build. And this is a fantastic practice, and you can actually grab a tune and do this exercise many different times with many different phrases, and later on you can combine the phrases as well. But it's super fun because it's not only going to help you in your improvisation, it's going to actually drastically help you in your composing, in your arranging. And in this video, I'm going to guide you step by step on how to do it. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Lorenzo Ferrero. I'm a Latin Grammy winning and Grammy nominated saxophone player, composer, and arranger, originally from Peru, currently living in Los Angeles, California. I share weekly videos and tips of amazing musical practices that you can do to drastically enhance your improvisation skills, your composing skills, your arranging skills, and just become a better musician. So if you like this video, just make sure to please subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications. I post a video like this every Tuesday, and I wouldn't want you to miss them. So let's get to it. In this video, I'm actually going to use two different tunes. First, All the Things You Are, and I'm going to show you how I write a simple phrase over All the Things You Are, just the first few chords, and then I'm going to transpose it and modify it so that it fits every chord. Later on, I'll play it, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing over Days of Wine and Roses, so you can see how you can grab two very different tunes and actually get an amazing musical sound. Now, be aware, it will sound repetitive, but that's actually the point of this exercise. It's to exploit one musical phrase and try to actually understand the sound of that phrase in a very profound way. This way, if you keep doing this with new phrases and new tunes constantly, you're going to massively grow your musical language with beautiful phrases that you create. So here's the thing about this. I want you to try this and you be the one that creates the phrase. Don't just transcribe it from somewhere. You can of course, find inspiration in different places, but try to just sit down and see, how would I write an amazing two-measure phrase over this first chord or first few chords. So let's get into it. Let me show you how to do it.
All right, everyone. So I'm here in Sibelius, and the first step is to just put all the chords of the tune, however you want to play it. This is my version. Here's All the Things You Are. Now, keep in mind, this is in E flat transposition because I'm going to play and showcase everything in this video with my alto sax. Okay, so I'm going to leave in the description a quick link where you can actually download this for free. Okay, you can download the E flat, B flat, and concert transposition of this exercise, so you can use it as your inspiration. Okay, so make sure to go in the description to download that. But there's going to be All the Things You Are displayed here, chords for E flat transposition. Okay, so the first thing to do is I'm just going to go to the first few measures, and I'm going to forget about notes and everything. Now, if you've been following some of my videos, you know I'm all about rhythm, and that's actually where any musical phrase really starts, with a good rhythm, then the shapes, and then the actual notes. So for me, the only thing I'm going to do is, first of all, sing a two-measure rhythm. Why a two-measure rhythm? Because it's long enough to give me a musical phrase that is productive and is expressive, right? One bar musical rhythm might be a little too short. So I'm just going to think about it quickly. This is going to be a medium swing. So how about ba 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 da ba do ba 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 do ba 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 do ba. Okay, so I'm just going to write the rhythm, right? Like this. Ba 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 da ba boo ba. Right. Okay, this is it's a cool rhythm. It works really nicely. It's very kind of slow at the beginning, and then it speeds up later on. So ba 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 boo da ba do ba. Okay, so great. So once I have that, I'm not going to write any notes. Check out what I'm going to do first so that you can visually look at this. And this is something I personally really like to do. I just grab here in Sibelius. I'm just going to filter the notes and chords, and then I'm going to copy and paste just that, because that's pretty much what we're going to be doing, is placing that rhythm over the entire chord progression, okay? But we're gonna actually build the exact same phrase. Now, you're gonna see on some of my other videos, I'm all about rhythm, and you can actually just grab the rhythm and use that rhythm and completely change the shapes and the notes, which is totally an amazing thing to do. But in this video, what I actually want to do is to show you how you can actually write pretty much almost the same phrase and just adjust it to the chords, and adjust the major third, minor third, that doesn't matter. Okay, so now I have that, and I'm gonna think of a shape that I'm gonna repeat for the entire song. So it might as well be a one that I really like, right? So ba 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 bo da ba do bam, bo ba ba boo ba ba boo ba. I kind of like that. Bo ba ba boo ba ba boo ba. So I'm gonna use that shape. Keep in mind, I'm not even worried about the notes yet. The shape only. Okay, so maybe start with 3 and 7, right? I could do something simple like that. Do ba ba, and just use chord tones. I'm gonna keep it very simple for this video because I want to showcase that simplicity can be key when you're doing this. Okay, a lot of people just want to go ahead and play crazy scales over this. Really take the time to create musical phrases. You're gonna see on my other videos that I'm all about really sticking with just a few simple elements at a time. And I want to show you this because it's a practice that I teach my students, and they're really amazed at how beautiful it can sound. Okay, so now we have 3 and 7, and then we can keep that fifth, and then maybe this can go something like this. Okay, so we have the boo ba ba boo 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 ba ba. Okay, that kind of a good, I like this shape. Now you can also do it like this, right? You can just go completely up. I just personally want to try to include a nice shape. So if you draw this shape, you see it goes up, boo ba ba boo 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 ba ba. Now on this note, you could change it. Maybe you could try to do a few different things. You could do that maybe. Boo ba ba boo doo ba ba. That kind of makes sense. So let's actually do this version. So it ends up being, if you really wanted to, you could. Now I can do this just for the first one for you to see. And so you can actually put the chord tones here just so that you can get an idea of what I'm doing. Okay, you can label the numbers. This is a third. Put the key signatures. This is an F major, so it's gonna be B flat. Okay, so 3. Then we got here the 5th, and then we got here the 9th, and then the root. Okay, so that's kind of my formula here. And you can see on my previous video that I actually do this with first inversion. It's an easier practice where you just write one inversion for every chord just to extract a melodic sound of a tune. This is a little bit more of a visual composer mindset where you're actually going to write a phrase. I like this. I haven't even heard it exactly, but I know it's going to be a great phrase. You're going to hear me play it later. Okay, so it works perfect. And now what I'm going to do is I'll do this for the next 2 measures, and then I'm going to speed up the video so that you can see me doing it over the entire tune. If not, it's going to be a really long video, okay? So check it out. 3, right? 3, 7. So I'm going to keep 3, 7, the same formula. Sorry, 3, this was 7, not 5. So yeah, I'm going to keep that formula, right? And then the 9th, then the 5th, and then we got 3, 5, 9, 1. There we go. So now you see this is the exact same thing, not only rhythmically, but also the shape and the actual relationship, the actual, chord tones or passing. In this case, I'm just using chord tones and just one tension, right? Like a passing tone. So this is all the same. So this is how the first 4 measures look like. Let me do it for the next one as well. Okay, and I'm going to go. And it's going to be, by the way, very repetitive, and that's totally fine because that's the goal here, to just extract the same, see how the same pattern, the same phrase, the same melodic shape. This is all about, you can do this with smaller patterns if you want. The idea is to really understand how the same phrase can sound, and you just change it and do the variations accordingly to the chords, right? In this case, we have a major third. This was minor. Now it's going to be major again. 7, 9. Let's continue. 5, and then we go to the. And now when you have 2 chords per measure, you just kind of combine you kind of adjust to that. So in this case, if I can do 3, I can do either that, or in this case, I can modify it and just kind of change I'm going to start with how about the 7th here, like this. And then I can do this. Makes sense? So in this case, I will change just to keep the shape, because if I go to the 3rd, I'm going to end up repeating too much. So you can definitely try to see how when you have more or different chords like that, see if you can maybe adjust a little bit just to keep the same shape. So if you see this, it sort of keeps the exact same shape, even though I am changing the chord tone relationship a little bit. This is now 7, 1, and this is like the 11th here going to the 7th. So the idea is to keep the same shape as much as possible, right? So So this is an example of how I would adjust the phrase on the first 8 measures. So it can't be the exact same thing, of course, because depending on how the chords change, my focus here is more on the shape than on the actual note precision. I try to keep the notes as precise as possible so that I can get the same sound, right? But for instance, here I octave adjusted. Here I did change the relationship to keep the shape, because the important part here is to get the exact same curvy shape and the same rhythm, right? More so than exactly the same note relationship, because this tune has a lot of chords that they change very often. So you want to just try to keep the shape and the rhythm intact and just modify a few things, but try to keep, if you can, the exact same notes and the relationship, if that makes sense. Now, that's it. I'm just going to show you these 8 measures. Now I'm going to show you the end result, and I'm going to play it for you so that you can see how this sounds. And this exercise is truly amazing because you do it and you instantly get better for it, and then you can keep doing another phrase, and etc., etc. You can go to the next tune, and you can totally apply some of the other exercises from my other videos. So let's check it out. Let's see how this is going to sound. I'm going to finish writing this, and you're going to see right now the end result of the entire tune with this exact concept. Okay, let's go.
Now, you see how musical that already sounds? Now, it's very repetitive, but that's exactly the idea here. It's to exploit one musical resource at a time and really train your ears to hear it and to be able to put it on different chord progressions. This is a fabulous, very musical way that I've done in my career and in my musical improvement to really see big results and trying to play musical over chord changes, not just playing scales and patterns, which is something I was cursed on at the beginning. And I talked about this on my other videos. I'm all about simplicity. Focus on one thing on one practice session and you'll see a bigger result than if you focus on 15 things, right? If you see some of my other videos, I talk about practicing just 2 chords for as much as 1 or 2 weeks, sticking with one rhythm and one scale, just one, maybe like a few elements at a time. In this video, the practice is to take the time to sit down and write something. You don't have to do this while you're playing. You can do this at night or at a different time. Like for me in this video, I sat down, wrote it, and then you bring it to your practice and you'll be amazed. You'll be the one that actually wrote that phrase, right? So that's, you get musically enhanced and you get actually very confident later on, and it boosts creativity. Now for the next example, I'm going to use Days of Wine and Roses, such a beautiful tune. Again, I'm going to do it on the alto, okay? I'm going to show you in a second what I'm going to do. But in this case, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to enhance the process. How am I going to enhance the process? Now, I'm going to keep the exact same rhythm, but I will change the shapes and I will change the note decisions, okay? So I will try to keep it very similar and repeat the certain, the same shape here and there so that there's a cohesiveness and that it sounds very musical. But now you're going to see the power of rhythm. I'm going to respect and just keep the exact same rhythm, but now I'm going to change shapes. If I did this, boo boo ba ba, I might do ba ba boo boop, right? Changing the shapes is so magical, right? But keeping the same rhythm. And what this is going to do is it's going to first really enhance your rhythmic vocabulary. Even though you're sticking with one rhythm, you're going to realize how that rhythm can be so powerful because it can actually create hundreds of musical phrases just with one rhythm. So guess what? If you keep doing this and you keep doing, like, let's say next week you do another rhythm over another song, and then the week after you do another rhythm over another song, and then later on you'll be comfortable doing 2 different rhythms or even 3 or 4 different rhythms in the same song. You can do rhythm 1, rhythm 2, rhythm 1 again, rhythm 3, rhythm 4, rhythm 1, rhythm 2, and start kind of alternating. And all of a sudden, you're going to be creating the most musical phrases ever because the rhythm, and if you really think on rhythm and shapes, and I talk about this on other videos where my hierarchy is rhythm first, shapes second, and the notes are a consequence of that. They're in third place to me because if I have a really good rhythm and I really have a lot of shapes in my head, then it's gonna sound great. So I just need, the notes are just, you can grab the chord tones, and of course the tensions are gonna help you with that and to color the sound. But they're, for me, a consequence of the first two. It's so much easier to come up with a good phrase if I have a good rhythm, right? And also, rhythm's gonna make it sound musical, and it's gonna separate you from just going and playing a bunch of eighth notes on scale. So try this exercise. Now let's go to the screen share. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with Days of Wine and Roses, and then I'm going to play.
For this next one, I'm going to do it over Days of Wine and Roses. Let me pick a quickly, like a different rhythm. How about ba ba doo ba 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 doo da ba 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 doo ba 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 doo ba ba. Music kind of different from this one. I'm trying to get something like a nice variation. And how do you do that? Rhythm first, right? Da doo da da ba ba boo da ba 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 doo ba boo ba. Could be that. Let's actually do this one. Yeah, so you got this. There you go. Ba ba da ba 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 boo ba boo ba. Right, and that's gonna be my rhythm. And again, I do the same process. I just grab filter here, just this guys, and I would just, you know the process now. Copy paste that. Think of a shape. In this case, I'm gonna think of a different shape. How about ba boo ba 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 boo ba boo ba? So see what's happening here with rhythm, and I emphasize this a lot in my teaching. Okay, rhythm can actually give you the ideas, give you the musicality. If you think on rhythm first, it kind of tells you what to do. It's like 70% of the phrase is there for me as soon as I have a good rhythm. If you just have a blank paper, then you might not get enough ideas, right? And I love this because it completely deletes writer's block. It's like I think about this, ba boo da ba 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 boo ba boo ba ba da ba 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 boo ba boo ba. And you can actually later on enhance this. So you can start with the same phrase concept in the same shape, and of course you can modify it and adjust it. Now I'm actually going to show you how to do this for this second example on Days of Wine and Roses. I'm gonna actually keep the same rhythm, but I'm also going to change a little bit of the shapes as I go through the solo, so that you can see how, on All the Things You Are example, I kind of stayed very true to the exact same phrase as much as possible. And now for this one, I'm gonna get away from it, respecting the exact same rhythm, but I'm gonna maybe do some different shapes to create more of a call and response, a variation, right? Later on, this could be an inspiration to write entire solos. You can grab 4 different phrases and just put them in different places, right? I'll do more videos about that. But let's just get the phrase done quickly. How about that with the 11th? It's going to be sharp 11 in this case. Introducing tension. This will give you ideas. So, da 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 ba ba boo boo ba da. Kind of a beautiful phrase there. I already know it's going to sound fantastic, right? And then when you get chords like this that are a little altered, then you can do, would you like the, in this case, it's not the 6, but the flat 13 going to the 5. You can do that, right? And then you can go to 3. Let's do, the 4th. You can do it with the 3rd here, and that's going to be almost like a passing tone, right? Right, that's going to give you a very beautiful musical sound. Now, I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to forward now, and I'm just going to write the equivalent, but this time I'm going to change it a little bit so you can see how it's getting inspired from that phrase, from that rhythm, and then that can inspire you to change things and maybe change the shape a little bit, change the notes, but it's all going to be that rhythm now. So this Days of Wine and Roses example, it's an expansion of the other one. Now you can start feeling more comfortable. Oh, let me change this. You're going to naturally be inspired as you go along. So let's check it out, the final version with me using this rhythm and changing the shapes and notes a little bit on each chord to see how it sounds so you can write your own. Let's go. Now another level of musicality. I absolutely love this exercise. This could already be beautiful lines that you write for an arrangement, or inspired, you can actually write a solo. This is how I write a lot of my solos too. So you can mix rhythms, of course. Keep in mind, this exercise is actually consciously repeating the same rhythm, the same kind of phrase, and the same structure like you saw
two steps. The first one, over all the things you are, was respecting the same shape, right? The rhythm and the shape, and most of the same notes per chord as we just adjusted. Then in this Days of Wine and Roses, I kept the exact same rhythm, but now I changed shapes to create different musicality, like a call and response. If I did ascending, I did descending later, that kind of stuff. Changing the notes, changing the relationships, and actually letting the rhythm guide my phrases. But all of this written down. I didn't even play the saxophone to write them. Now, what you heard was just me playing it afterwards. Now, I have experience doing this, but I encourage you to try. Just include this on your weekly or monthly practice. You don't have to do this every day, but just try to include it here and there when you want to get creative and get ideas over any tune you're working on. Just sit down, try to write phrases. And if you actually are an arranger like myself, and if you write music, this is probably one of the most powerful things you can do. If anything, as an arranger, I constantly do this. I just grab any tune, any chord progression, sit down, write it down. This could be horn section lines. It just boosts your melodic language and your melodic confidence and creativity. This doesn't mean that I'm going to use these phrases in my playing right away, but it means that I'm getting more confident creating melodies based on rhythm and shapes, if that makes sense. Of course, if you're not comfortable with the chords, go and do that first. But what I'm saying is that if you sit down and write it down, you don't even have to be comfortable with the chords, because you have enough time to sit down and be like, okay, what's the third here? What's the third? Yes, it will take you a lot of time at the beginning. But then you're going to bring it to your playing, and you're going to be amazed at how beautiful it sounds. And you wrote it. It's not an etude that somebody else wrote. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to get notified every time I post a new video. This kind of tutorials are posted every Tuesday on my account. So make sure to stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this, and make sure to download. On the description, you're going to find the free download of this PDF. So you can actually use it as a template. So you can download both. It's going to be all the things you are in Days of Wine and Roses in the same PDF. You can go ahead and download it. And if you enjoyed this video and you like this concept, then I absolutely encourage you to check out my Jazz Improvisation Mastery System. This is my step-by-step framework on how to practice and become an amazing improviser and boost your melodic language. From starting with rhythmic vocabulary, starting to deconstructing chords, building your language and gaining fluency over any chord progression, any style. And right now we have an amazing school community where I do weekly posts, I do live group coaching calls, so you're gonna get so much out of this. You really don't wanna do this alone, and you're tired of just looking for more and more YouTube videos. Then I totally encourage you to check out my Jazz Improvisation Mastery System. I have a community where you can go in, not only learn from my step-by-step videos, but you can engage with other amazing saxophone players that want to also improve constantly. This community is growing every single day, so make sure to join. I left a link in the description as well with a very special offer because you watched this video. So make sure to go download your free PDF and check out my Jazz Improvisation Mastery System online course and community. I'm absolutely certain that I can help you drastically take your improvisation and writing skills to the next level. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.